What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LTQ Wrestling Crew Podcast. We're going to be talking about everything WrestleMania, the fallout, The Rock's comments, Rusev returning, Mariah May potentially being WWE bound, the new world champions, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins now being Paul Heyman, guys. Tons of stuff to get into. Cheers. You have a good Easter and you ready to talk some wrestling today?
First answer, no, personally. Second part, yeah, I'm ready.
Well, let's get right into it. So we saw the Raw after WrestleMania, which has gotten plenty of praise. I mean, I've seen a lot of fans say it was better than WrestleMania itself. So really good show. Rusev came back, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But the main event, we saw Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins come out there. Rollins explains kind of what happened or why it happened. CM Punk comes out there before he even really says too much. They brawl. Punk looks to get his hands on Paul Heyman, and Rollins takes advantage, takes out Punk, and out comes Roman Reigns. And he takes out Rollins. Superman punches Heyman. He's going for the spear, does the ooh-ah, and out of nowhere, we see Braun Breaker spear the living hell out of Roman Reigns. And the crowd's going crazy, chanting holy shit, doing the dog chants. And then he spears Roman Reigns through the barricade. And they throw him back in the ring. Rollins curse stomps them both. And that's how Raw goes off the air. So we have a new stable in WWE, which I think is very intriguing. This is really, it seems like WWE's made the Intercontinental title an elevation type title. We saw it with Gunther where he won the title, he lost it, he got elevated to that main event scene. Now Braun Breaker seems like he's going that same direction. So, Tears, what do you think about this whole ending of Raw and Braun Breaker joining Seth Rollins as Paul Heyman, guys? I'll get in the second part of the question after, but what do you think about this?
For clarification, I just want people to know, like, I watched Raw. For some reason, my feed ended after they attacked and were victorious over Punk. Just wanted to point that out. So I didn't get to see Braun Breaker and the Roman Reigns part live, which is weird. But I will say this is very interesting to me. I enjoyed it. But the idea of, I see this more as a way to where, like, Raw, it'll give Heyman a chance to work with Rollins, which I think some people would like to see that. But I think more people are excited about Braun working with Heyman. Because, I mean, let's not forget, when Braun was first introduced into the main roster, he had a little snippet moment with Heyman. So, pretty cool that we finally got a payoff from that. As a group, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't want Braun to just be the bodyguard for Rollins, but you know, anything could happen. Maybe the bodyguard role will elevate Braun to being like, he's just a dude who can legitimately just attack anybody at any moment. You just need to be the guy to tell him where to go. But overall, I would say this is going to be a fun moment. I don't know if they should add more people, but if they do, they need to be very precise on who it is. If they do that,
Yeah, I agree. You can't just throw anybody into the group. I loved it overall. I've been calling this for months. Like, if you follow me on TikTok or whatever, I post a TikTok about 2 or 3 months ago. It was reported like Paul Heyman's been working with Braun Breaker backstage on his, promo ability and his segments and everything. And I said, like, Braun Breaker, for some reason, just screams Paul Heyman guy to me. So this didn't really surprise me at all. And I'm happy to see Braun Breaker finally get to that, or not finally, but like get to that main event level. And I give Rollins a lot of credit because Rollins is like not afraid to elevate others with him. We saw it back in the COVID era with Murphy and Theory, where he put them in a group, tried to get them over. Not that Braun Breaker needs elevate as much as them guys. He's going to be over no matter what. But like, if you get what I'm saying, like, Rollins is not afraid to elevate others with him, and this is another example of that. So I've heard some names tossed around. I've heard, a few women names. A lot of fans want like a woman added to the group. But Tears, I'll throw some names out at you, and you let me know if this would be good in your mind. So the first name I got, Carmelo Hayes.
I did hear about Carmella Hayes. I remember now. That's who it was. I remember seeing like a picture of like somebody saying like the modern day evolution. It's Rollins, Braun, Hayes, and for some reason Sheamus. I do not understand why Sheamus, he was put in that picture as well. But I can see Hayes. He's kind of not doing anything really big. Maybe. I think, like, he's on SmackDown, though, so that would be... I don't know. But I would be okay with Hayes. I'd actually like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. I think Carmelo Hayes needs to do something, and this would like be something that elevates him a lot more. Another name I got, Austin Theory.
I did hear about Theory. I'm not sure about Theory. I'll put it this way. I remember we talked about it a while ago, like a face Theory would be cool to break up A-Town Down Under, but it doesn't seem like WWE wants to break them up. So if Theory goes, I would honestly have to say maybe bring Grayson with him so that way you can have a tag team a part of it. Because if Rollins more likely going to be the main eventer, Braun probably still the mid-card champion holder, but he can always be elevated higher up whenever it's over, then you need a tag team dudes. And I feel like A-Town Down Under as a group would be better than just Theory.
Yeah, because you'd have to go and break them up, and unless you split them up in like the draft or something, I don't really see it like making a whole lot of sense to do that right now. So I posted a Bayley video on my TikTok and a short on the YouTube channel. Check that out. But like a few of the comments said Bayley should join this group. What do you think about that?
I don't know about Bayley, Chief. I don't know about her. If we were to add a female to the group, honestly, Stephanie Vakir? Probably her instead?
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I could see her. Maybe Roxanne Perez, maybe one of them. Somebody like kind of newer, I feel like would be elevated.
Roxanne Perez actually makes a lot. Or Cora Jade.
Yeah, her too.
I'd say one of those three.
Yeah, I could see any of those three. I kind of feel bad for Roxanne Perez because they had her scheduled to be in a feud with Bayley, and they both just didn't even get on a WrestleMania card, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, Roxanne. I mean, maybe. I'm a huge Roxanne fan. I think she's great. We'll have to see. I think this stable has a ton of potential. We'll have to see where it ends up. It seems like they're going to go in a tag team match for now. So we'll have to see how that, turns out. Going into Backlash. I worry about this group long term, but for now, I'm hyped for it, and I think this is going to help elevate Braun Breaker, and that's all that matters right now. Like, so I'll have to see how that goes. And we're going to talk about The Rock, and he's been facing a lot of criticism. Obviously, he didn't show up at WrestleMania. Fans are wondering what the hell's going on. Obviously, Travis Scott showed up, which. Yeah, he was there, Travis Scott. So I'm going to read a quote The Rock said about why he didn't show up. Obviously, he was heavily involved in the Cena heel turn and Cena selling his soul and Cody not selling his soul and everything.
And just so people know, this will be my first time hearing the quote too. So
yeah, so this is a long quote, so bear with me here. He was on the Pat McAfee show, talked about a lot of topics, including why he didn't show up. He said, I made the call. I don't want to be involved in that. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. Let's let them do what they do. I called John after Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, called Cody, and I said, I think the final boss work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks. Now let's build. You guys go and crush it. I'll be right there with you, and I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best for the final boss to not be involved in that finish. We can insert final boss in the end of this finish, but then where do we go? There's other commitments that I have. I want to also be careful that we're not overstepping and leaning over our skins too much here. Can get involved in the finish, but I said it's weird. Written, my bad, but why get involved in that finish when the spotlight should just be on, in my opinion, John 17, heel champion? What does 2025 look like if this man says he's going to ruin professional wrestling? That, to me, is the anchoring storyline. It's not so right now. We'll get back to it. So that's The Rock's full quote. He's facing a lot of criticism. A lot of fans, including myself, are kind of just over The Rock at this point. A lot of his comments are just unnecessary sometimes, I will say. He said Cody's turning heel in the future, which I don't even know why he even mentioned that. Just let that happen organically. Like, he's kind of been, to me, overexposing the business a little bit. Not that other people don't do that, but it's like, just let the fans kind of enjoy stuff. And he's been kind of just yapping too much. But Tears, what do you think about The Rock not being involved in Mania and his whole comments about that?
What the flip was all that bull ass? What was that? I don't think I should get involved. You were the one who started all this junk. You kind of have to be involved. Like, for what? Like, you could have just done the Cena heel turn without The Rock then, if that's the case. Why? So you mean to tell me, I offer Cody Rhodes that I want his soul and all that. Oh, he didn't take it. I attacked him with John Cena and Travis Scott. Nah, I shouldn't be involved anymore. I orchestrated all the attacks on Cody Rhodes. Nah, I don't need to be involved. What is this? I feel like that's just an excuse for him to be like, yeah, I don't feel like doing it. I changed my mind. Give me my new Jungle Book.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other reason he has. I mean, these comments were just cringe. And this wasn't even the only bad thing he said in this interview. We can't get into all right now, but sheesh. I mean, he's becoming like Vince to me, where it's just so cringe even hearing his ideas and his comments on shit. It's just like, The Rock just needs to go away for a while. Possibly, I get he's on the TKO board. He's a part of the ownership and everything now, but it's just like, just don't talk anymore. Just please. It's just so cringe. And like Terry said, he's been involved in this whole angle, and he's saying he shouldn't have been. Okay, then why the hell was Travis Scott there then? He was there when the heel turn happened, and you were too, but Travis Scott makes sense to come out there, but you don't. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. I've heard a lot of complaints, like reports that like The Rock just shows up and messes up WWE's plans and just messes up their story and messes up whatever he's involved in. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just making a smart aleck comment on the side, like to myself, saying like it feels like it, considering like I'm here. Hey, what's the major storyline? All right, give me a sec, and I'm already in the ring. Just being a smart aleck.
Oh yeah, you're good. Okay. So Tears, I'll ask you this. Are you even interested in seeing him against Roman Reigns at this point? Is that even anything that you even care about at this point?
I wasn't even interested in the first time.
Yeah, it's kind of rained. I mean, it was supposed to happen like the last 6 years, and I don't see it happening at this point. I mean, Roman Reigns even
didn't the rumors start in 2016?
Yeah, like Vince was playing this for like a decade, and it didn't happen, which is kind of funny. I mean, Reigns is running out of time. I think he said he has 1 or 2 years left on his current deal. Then after that, he's got another year. He's probably got maybe 4 years left, and then he's done. Brock's in his 50s. He looks great, but I mean, who knows how long he's even going to do this? So, like, I don't see it happening, which it's a dream match for a lot of people. Not really for me, but I understand the hype with it, but I don't think it's necessarily going to happen at this point, which is unfortunate for those fans. But, hey, directions change sometimes. So, Rusev is back. He returned on Raw this week, and I'm annoyed that they changed his entrance music. Def Rebel strikes again with some trash-ass, generic, I would have heard like the Rusev Pultia, Rusev Matska type entrance music, not this garbage generic beat. But that's Def Rebel for you. But New Day comes out there talking about how they won the tag titles, and then Alpha Academy, Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Otis come out there to get ready to do the match. The lights go out, and out comes Rusev. He goes out there, he destroys Tozawa and Otis, and that is the return of Rusev. So, Tears, what do you think about the return of Rusev? And do you have really high hopes for him in WWE after his AEW run was definitely a letdown?
First of all, I didn't really mind the new theme song personally. Like, yeah, I get like it's Rusev Butria is more iconic for him for WWE, but it's also has the baggage with it as well. So I see it like that. I want to say hope for him here. I remember asking a while ago, like, could Rusev fit in the modern WWE landscape? And I mean, he showed like he can definitely still destroy as like he used to when he first showed up on the main roster. But I mean, the IC title scene is relative. I mean, if we're removing Braun from it, then we could probably have Rusev take his place, but it's going to be like a while before Rusev is in the title scene for that. And as for compared to his AEW type run, I mean, keep in mind, he was one of the most entertaining TNT champions, like with the Game Over and all that fun stuff. But I feel like we're not going to have like the fun, like stuff we had like with the Game Over. Like, he's not going to be making the jokes and stuff. He's going to be like serious destruction and all that, which I don't mind. But I feel like we're going to have to see how it goes before we're going to have him have his first match and first promo. I feel like before we give a actual answer, we need those two things.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it ends up turning out. I have not heard that Lana. I mean, I heard Lana signed a Legends deal, but I don't know if she's actually going to be coming back with them. So who knows if that, since they're back together, if any fans didn't know that they got back together and everything, which is good to hear. So, excuse me. Rusev, for me, like his AEW run in the beginning was good. It's just I don't know what happened. It's like Tony Khan soured on him, or apparently he was not happy with creative there, and they brought him back, and he disappeared again, and just the whole run in the end was disappointing to me. We'll have to see where he stands in WWE. I mean, it's a okay debut. I mean, I get why you are okay destroying Tozawa and Otis. I mean, those guys aren't really relevant. Otis had an opportunity to be, but they just never pulled the trigger. And long term, I mean, I think he's a valuable asset to the roster. I don't see him being in the main event scene, but I have heard WWE has major plans for him, so that's good to hear. I heard a lot of people backstage are happy he's back. Obviously, he's very good friends with Sheamus, and I saw he took a picture with Liv Morgan, which, if anybody understands the reference to that, when they had that whole Liv Morgan lineup, yeah, that was not good stuff. But that was a Vince story, if we ever had one. The Bobby Lashley Lana stuff, oh, jeez. But, I mean, I got hopes for him. Hopefully he does something relevant here. I mean, the roster always needs, like, guys like him, guys who can work and kind of just do the role. So hopefully it turns out for Rusev. We'll see what the long-term plan is for him on WWE television. So Bayley did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and a lot of fans are having sympathy for Bayley. She was supposed to be in the tag team match with Lyra Valkyria at Mania. They pulled off the injury angle. She wasn't hurt in real life or nothing. They just decided to replace her with Becky Lynch. And a lot of people backstage had a lot of sympathy for Bayley because she's beloved backstage. And even in the interview, I mean, it's a tough watch because, like, she talks about it and you knew she knew about it before the interview. And she could kind of see getting a little emotional, like saying, like, you know, she kind of feels like she's too nice and she ain't the type of person who goes in there and demands stuff or says, no, we're not doing this. And Bayley just seems kind of down on herself. She doesn't feel like she's on the level of Charlotte and Bayley. Like, I don't know. I hope WWE's booking of her ain't making her lose some confidence, and maybe she's just not like an ego type person. But she did say her deal's up in a year and a half. She said she don't know what exactly she's gonna end up doing. She could do stuff outside of wrestling. She supports all companies. Maybe, obviously her and Mercedes Moné are very close best friends. I don't know if I see her going to AEW, but Tears, what do you think about Bayley's whole comments, and what do you see her doing when her contract expires in a year and a half?
I mean, it is a shame that they just decided hey, we got Becky, so we're just gonna use her instead for this match. And yeah, that would definitely do. It's like what one of our comments, or something I'll bring back later in a different topic, where they're just prioritizing certain things for otherwise, or words. They're prioritizing certain people over the people who actually need it. And it does suck. And with how many times they have done that to Bayley, it would eventually get you to reconsider re-signing. But I'm worried about what if she doesn't resign? Where would she have the confidence WWE did this to me, or WWE does this, and who's to stop anybody else from doing it? I'm afraid that if she lets it get to her, she might just stop being a wrestler, and I don't want that. Nobody wants to see Bayley just decide to hang it up. That would honestly mess up a lot of people. So hopefully that something happens to where she feels confident in herself again.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I've heard some fans trying to defend it, saying, "Oh, it's a storyline. It's not a." I mean, I guess they could turn it into one, but let's be serious. They just had Becky come back, and we're like, "Yeah, she's a bigger name. That's it." I felt for Bayley because when I saw that injury angle, I was like, "Okay, is Bayley hurt?" And I read a report on Twitter she's not hurt. They just replied, I was like, "Man, it's WrestleMania too." Because a few of the comments on my TikTok were like, "Oh, well, it's just a random tag team match." Yeah, but it's still WrestleMania. This is what you work all year to get to. You want to be on WrestleMania. It doesn't matter if you're in a 2-minute segment, a minute segment, the worst match on the card. You're on WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year, and she didn't get to do that now, and that's gotta hurt mentally. Because she's been there 12 years now, which is crazy. And she feels like she's probably one of the most important women there, and they're not really treating her as such. And I know Becky. I don't know if it was Becky's idea. Maybe it was WWE's creative idea, or saying, "Oh, we want you to come back and team with Lyra and feud with Lyra." I mean, I heard that a few months ago. That was a possibility. But yeah, this sucks. I mean, it's being off WrestleMania ain't fun. I mean, look at Kevin Owens. I mean, he was supposed to face Randy Orton. He has to go get neck surgery and stuff now, and that sucks for him. I mean,
And he might be gone for 12 months from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, so. Dude, I'll ask you about that real quick. If you're Kevin Owens, do you come back to wrestling? Obviously, Bryan Danielson had neck surgery. He don't know if he's going to wrestle again. KO's in his 40s. He's had a lot of wear and tear on his body. Do you personally think he should come back?
I've been a fan of his for so long, from his ROH days, and you've been a fan of him since day one in NXT. I really don't want to answer that. I physically and mentally, as a fan of his, I kind of don't want to answer that because, it's just, on one hand, I want to still see him wrestle. I want to keep seeing his matches. I want him to still be there. But on the other hand, he's getting up there. So I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I pass.
Yeah, it's a tough subject because I mean we're both big Kevin Owens fans, and I heard he probably will miss Mania next year. And a lot of fans thought this was a work and stuff. I mean, I didn't see it as a work from the minute I heard about it because it's like, why would he want to miss WrestleMania? What's the gain from having him not be in this match? So I hope to see KO back. I think he's going to dim down his moveset, which would be unfortunate for fans who like his moveset, but I think it'd be a good thing for him. I don't know if I see him doing like the springboard anymore, like the moonsault, stuff like that, just because the neck's such a delicate area. You don't want to end up – obviously, KO don't botch a lot, but like you know what I mean. Like you don't want to lay on that neck and, anything could happen. So, but we've seen a lot of wrestlers have neck injuries that come back. We've seen Edge and Paige and – so I think he'll be back. It just depends on maybe he has a lighter schedule. I think he should probably be like more of a special attraction at that point, not really a full-time guy. I think that'd probably make the most sense. But we'll see. I'm hoping he's back because I was actually looking forward to him and Randy Orton. Those are obviously two of my favorites, and they were actually building up that feud pretty good, which a lot of WrestleMania matches weren't getting a lot of good builds. So yeah, best wishes to KO. Hopefully he's back soon. So Gunther, and this question might have been answered on Raw. Obviously, he attacked Michael Cole. He choked out Pat McAfee. Maybe they're doing Pat McAfee and Gunther at SummerSlam. But Gunther not having a championship is definitely weird because he's had a title a lot. We've talked about this before, but like he's not really used to not having a championship. Like he's held the Intercontinental title, he held the NXT UK title, he held the World title. And he lost to Jay. And a lot of fans don't like that, but it is what it is. Jay kind of had to win, in my opinion. I mean, not now, then when. I mean, he had to win the Royal Rumble and everything. But here's what's next for Gunther now. Like, do you see him struggling a little bit without a title? Do you see him kind of being like this bully who's like, damn it, I lost. I'm just going to kick everybody else's ass. What do you see going forward for Gunther?
God, like you said, like we've never, for more than, I would say, a month, have seen him without a championship. Because when he won King of the Ring, was he still IC champ or nah?
I believe so, but I ain't 100% accurate. Let us know in the comments on that one.
All right. Well, even if he was or wasn't, he always had something. Like some form of gold, some form of trinket with him. And it's just weird. Like now, there's nothing. He's not in the IC title scene. He lost the world title. He'll probably get his rematch if I had to guess. Because I'm going to be honest, I thought like somebody was going to attack Jay during Raw. I thought somebody was, but I was more shocked that it was just a clean celebration. But yeah, for Gunther, I don't know. I feel like we will get a couple weeks of him just assaulting anybody who's said anything against him, and then Jay's gonna come out and defend them, and we're gonna have their rematch and all that. And more than likely, Jay will win the rematch. And once again, we're back to what do we do with Gunther? And I'm just like, I don't know. There's no titles. You know what? He could just go to SmackDown. He could just go to SmackDown.
So for me, I don't know if I see a rematch happening because they don't like having Gunther take many losses. Excuse me. I don't think they're gonna have a rematch because they don't want him to take another loss to Jay. Maybe they just do what they've done with some other people and just be like, yeah, we're not going to give you a rematch call. We're just going to move you on to McAfee for SummerSlam. You'll just do that for a while and whatever. But it's going to be – I don't know what really they go with from here. I mean, his direction going forward is a blurry one. So, yeah, I think maybe a move to SmackDown would make the most sense. Maybe just get him a fresh list of opponents, maybe a fresh direction. And he did a good job during the Jay feud. I mean, he tried his best during it. Like, not a lot of fans were, like into it,
Vibing.
But yeah, but I mean, he's improved his mic work. He's improved his heel work. Like I think he's improved a lot from what he was when he first got to WWE on the main roster. So he deserves credit for that. We'll have to see. I really don't know what the direction is for Gunther going forward. I really don't. Like it's kind of a blurry one for me. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Honestly, with them.
I vote go to SmackDown.
Yes. And So we'll be talking about an AEW talent, Mariah May. Now, she's been involved in one of the greatest feuds in AEW history with Tony Storm. I think she signed a 2-year contract 2 years ago. She's only 26 years of age. She's very good in the ring. She looks fantastic. She can work. She can talk. She's got the look. She's made for WWE, in my opinion. I mean, that she's got money written all over her. And, you know, it's been reported it's always been her dream to go there. Tony Khan has not put her on TV since that came out, which is kind of funny. That seems to always be the case when there's reporting or whatever. So, Ted, I'll ask you this. Does Mariah May make sense in WWE for you? Has she accomplished really everything in AEW where you go, yeah, WWE makes a lot of sense?
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it always seems like the moment you have like one of the best feuds in AEW, you're basically WWE bound. I don't want to be that guy to just say that, but I just did. But all jokes aside, it seems like every single time there's even a smidget of a chance somebody's considering going to WWE, AEW will just punish you. And I don't know when they're going to learn, but it's always true that you do that, you're just going to keep pushing them further away. And you probably shouldn't do that with somebody who just became a very popular name for your brand. So I would say it's looking more and more likely each time AEW does something.
Yeah, Mariah May, I mean, obviously she was in Stardom before she got there, so she was a little known, but she really became a star in their company. Like she's been great for them, and they've needed it because that women's division's been horribly booked. I've heard a lot of Mercedes Hogan comments tossed out because she like never loses and everything. Like it's just kind of like their women's division is struggling. Outside of Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné, Megan Bane's been pretty good since she's gotten there. I actually like Megan Bane, but like there's not a lot of women where you can really strap a rocket to and really help carry your company women's division wise. So Mariah May would be a big loss for them in my opinion, but she would be a big gain for WWE. Even though WWE has a ton of talent in the women's division, you always need more talent. And she's young, she looks great. I think possibilities are endless for her. And obviously, like with Stephanie Van Keur, she got offered more money from AEW, but she chose to go with WWE. Because AEW, like you're not always guaranteed success there. And I just feel like a lot of people see the writing on the wall in AEW, like, okay, I can make a lot of money here, but am I going to be on TV consistently? Am I going to be booked well? And Mariah May, after this Tony Storm feud, might think, okay, this was the height of my career in this company. Like, is it going to get any better than this? I don't know if I can answer that a lot of positive. Like, is it going to get better than that? I mean, she was the women's champion for a little bit, big time feud. Like, I don't know if there's really anything better she could do in AEW. So I don't blame her for going to WWE if that's what she ends up doing. And I hope she has a lot of success there because I'm a big Mariah May fan. I think she's fantastic. So Tiers 1, this included. So I added this as a late inclusion, the Karrior Kross interview. And it's been making a lot of headlines. Karrior Kross has gotten a lot of attention recently. A lot of fans are hoping he gets on TV more. And he's always been great. I've liked that they've gotten away from the dark gimmick a little bit and not really had him just be stuck with that. And he's done a great job with this new type of character of like trying to help others or like help them find. I mean, if you look at the New Day, like he was the one who told the New Day, like, you know, you guys need to cut the dead weight, and they did, and they became tag champs. So he's had a very logical character. But he did an interview, and he said a lot during it. You know, he said they always tell you to be a good soldier. You could really mention this with Bayley. Really, somebody commented this on one of my videos. Like they always say, be a good soldier, and it doesn't get you anywhere. And he wanted to be on Wrestlemania. He wanted to be Randy's mystery opponent Mania, and he was talking a lot of true shit in this interview. And it just sounds like I'm sure WWE was okay with him saying this, but like he just seems kind of fed up because they just haven't really done anything relevant with him. And his contract's up soon. there's a lot of debate whether he should re-sign with WWE. Like, so Tears, what do you think about this whole interview with Karrior Kross?
I think. Okay, so a little bit of a background history about this. I remember when Icon told me that NXT star will be debuting Karrior Kross, and I was excited because I was a fan of his for so long. And NXT, it delivered on what I wanted for Kross. He legitimately murdered everybody there between Theory, Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dijak, you name him, he probably fought him and all that. And then main roster happened. Like he said, he was a Mad Max wannabe, and he lost clean. No finisher required by Jeff Hardy. And with him being a good soldier, he got released. And over the so long in WWE, I was starting to like fade away from even acknowledging Kross in WWE to the point to where it's just like, okay. Like, I will say that WWE made it very hard to be a Karrior Kross or Karrior Kross fan. This promo did remind me of why I do like him, because the moment he brought up like message from Karrior Kross, I was just like, yeah, because I went back and like after that it was like a bunch of feeds of like Karrior Kross matches, and it made me realize like this dude killed people, like not literally, but he had great wins against people like Darby Allin, Jacob Fatu. Believe he fought Moxley. I don't know if he won that, but he fought a lot of people that we know nowadays as like big names. It's just like he just was stagnant for so long. So I'm hoping that this promo does allow him to be acknowledged more, be wanted more. Maybe this will definitely like push for actual match feuds with Styles. Or maybe, this could get him a feud with Logan Paul, where he's talking about like wrestlers versus influencers, that type of thing. Either way, I'll be fine. But as long as we can get Kross to do stuff, and I think he should probably re-sign, like you just had this viral, like he said, viral moment. So it's just like you just had that moment. Let's see if we can, push forward, keep going with it. And if WWE decides to just go, yeah, that was your viral moment, but that's all we're going to give you, then I guess, yeah, just go, okay, you gave me the moment. That's all you're going to give me. Then I have nothing left to do here.
Yeah, perfectly said. Agree with everything you just said. Like, he should get into a feud. I mean, he's been involved in the Styles and Logan Paul at WrestleMania, so it'd make a lot of sense to have him go against one of them too. And this is a good interview from him. It really got him a lot of attention. He's even getting a lot more attention anyway, but this definitely helped a lot. And sometimes it takes something like this to get your attention from the office or from creative or from fans or whatever the case. So I'm happy for Kross. And man, when you look back at like when he got released the first time, he came back and he was in a segment with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre or whatever. I'm just like, man, this guy's going to be a main event guy. Triple H is running creative. He pushed him to the moon NXT. They just never really did anything with that, and it was unfortunate. Like, and I feel like after that, fans just didn't really care about him. Like, they were like, okay, because he disappeared for like 8 months after that. I'm just like, why even debut him in a big spot like that if you don't have big plans for him? It was just weird. And yeah, I mean, NXT Kross, he was a beast. I remember that Fatal 5-Way he was in where he was just killing everybody. I think it was him, Gargano, Finn, a few others. It was like a Fatal 5-Way iron.
He was definitely the biggest person in the match. I remember that.
Yeah, like it was definitely a showcase his power and like his like dominance against a lot of the big names in NXT at that time. So yeah, hopefully this is the start of something. I don't know if he should re-sign or not. That's really up for him. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he did or didn't. I mean, the thing about WWE is sometimes they make false promises. We've seen that with Nakamura a few times and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping the best for Kross because he's got a lot of talent, and sometimes you just need an opportunity, and he just hasn't really gotten much opportunity to do much. So, WrestleMania, we're going to end this talking about WrestleMania and the fallout and whether we're happy about it. Because I've seen a lot of criticism. The John Cena and Cody match, some fans are calling it the worst main event in WrestleMania history. I don't know if it's worse than Brock and Roman Reigns when Reigns took like 8 F5s and the crowds were chanting bullshit and everything. But, I mean, it was a very, especially night one. Night one was not it at all, besides the Fatu between LA Knight and obviously the main event between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Punk. And then night two was actually pretty good besides the main event. Like, I like the triple threat women's match between Belair, Io, and Rhea. And to me, it just didn't feel like WrestleMania. I didn't really like either world title match. Jey Uso and Gunther, to me, wasn't very good either, at least in my opinion. And I don't know, a lot of fans thought the Raw after WrestleMania was better than the actual WrestleMania. Like, that's kind of crazy to even hear. And yes, you know, I think a lot of fans went into it with too high of expectations. Obviously, the build has not been really great for a lot of these programs. But last year's WrestleMania ending with Cody completing the story was so incredible that, any main event would have been tough to follow up this year. But, man, it's been a very controversial WrestleMania. So, Tears, obviously didn't watch WrestleMania. You've seen some highlights or some talk online. I'll ask you first, what do you think about Jey Uso and Cena both being world champions now?
I would say for Jey Uso, it was definitely a needed planned out, and overall, it was something that needed to be done. I know I just said needed so many times in that sentence, but because it was like, whether you like the match or not is completely up to you. You can say whichever or you want, but overall, it was fine for him, and I'm not mad about it at all. For John Cena, though, I know people said like he should do it. He should win the 17-time championship, and I was fine with that happening. But I'm not. I didn't like how it was, because from what I saw from the highlights, it was just Cena doing stuff that you would expect at any other insert name pay-per-view, or not even just on Cena, just any heel do at insert pay-per-view name win title. And it was just so uninteresting on his part, on their part as a whole, like both Cody and Cena. Like, that's the best way I could just put it. It was just uninteresting.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know what it was. It just didn't feel like a WrestleMania main event. It felt like I was watching like a Backlash main event or something. Cena just didn't do a whole lot. Even his selling and the way he took moves in this match was weird. Like, he took a Cody cutter, and instead of taking a flat face bump, he landed on his shoulder. It was just weird. Like, Cena definitely had some rust. Obviously, he today's actually his birthday, so happy birthday, Cena. He turned 48, so obviously he's getting up there in age. But he just seemed off, and I know his whole character is, I'm going to ruin wrestling, and there's the defense of like, well, Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling, and everybody says he can't wrestle. He's just doing this as an F you to the fans because he's a heel. I don't know. Like, even if Cena was a face, I don't think he would have done that much during this. Cena's just kind of took a lazy route with his wrestling. And I was in a party with QJ and Genius, and they were like, Triple H ain't letting him do a lot. And they got to, like, and this is just for like a lot of fans. I don't remember which one of them said it, but like I told him in the party, like, Cena's a top guy. If he wants to, him and Cody have all the say in the world in how this match went. So maybe Cena just doesn't want to do a lot. Maybe this is part of his whole character. But Triple H, I'm sure, gave them a lot of. I mean, these are two of the top guys in the company, so it ain't like Triple H is saying, "Oh, you guys can't do all this stuff." Obviously, Cena has his commitments with the movies and with the other outside commitments, but like, just a very disappointing main event. I don't really know other way to put it. And for Jey, I just didn't care for the match. I'm not a big fan of Gunther tapping out. I know Dragunov tapped him out as well, so I know there's that defense there, but like, I just didn't like the match. And I don't know. I don't know how much hope I have for Jay's world title reign. It just feels like maybe a short reign. A lot of fans are waiting on Sami Zayn to turn on him on Raw. I was actually kind of hoping for something like that. Maybe Jay does like a good, like in a goodwill type of tour where he like, okay, I'll give Jimmy a shot. I'll give Sammy a shot. Like all the people who's helped me, I'll give them a title shot, maybe something like that. But yeah, this WrestleMania just didn't hit.
Usually that's kind of like a nepotism thing. Like, oh, all my buds get a world title shot. I feel like that's kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's not something I personally want. I've just heard like some fans mentioning that, like, oh, he should do like that. Not my cup of tea, but everybody has what they like. All in all, though, WrestleMania, I mean, there was some good stuff. Again, the Jacob Fatu LA Knight match was great. The main event of night one was great. I liked the women's match. I liked Logan Paul and Styles before the ending that they always do, where his Logan Paul's entourage throws something in there or whatever. They always do that. I don't know. It just didn't hit as WrestleMania this year. It's unfortunate. And we'll have to see what's next. I mean, it looks like Jay's and Gunther's not going to face off again. So who knows what's next for Jay here? And then Cena and Randy Orton at Backlash. So, Tears, I'll end this video asking you about this. So, what do you think about Randy Orton and John Cena happening for the world title in 2025?
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been seeing so many people saying like they need to, because I was on Reddit just scrolling through, just being like, okay, let's see what kind of stupid stuff I can find today to make me chuckle. And on the wrestling one, I'm sure somebody can find this, and if you do, link it in the comments so people can see it because it's funny. It was like if Cena doesn't do this, or Cena should do this in their match because it'd be funny AF. I'm not saying it for video reasons. And it was like the time when Cena and Orton had one of their many WWE Championship matches. Orton was defending the belt against Cena. Orton punched the ref to get himself DQ to retain the title. And I agree, Cena should definitely do that as payback for that one time. Why? Because it'd be funny.
I mean, he is heel Cena now, so that's definitely a possibility. I don't after seeing Cena's match against Cody, I mean, for nostalgia feels, obviously it's been many, many years since we've seen Orton and Cena in a match. Hasn't it been since they like fought in that Hell in a Cell match in like 2017 or something or 2016? I don't even remember. But
I think so. Was that the one where was that the time period where Orton was the undisputed champion? Like he was holding both the big gold and the WWE championship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I remember he was the authority boy before they were calling themselves the authority at the time. And I remember I think that one Hell in a Cell match was the one where they stole each other's finishers because Orton was picking up Cena by the armband and then Cena just caught him with a cutter and then Orton did a I think that was the last match, but they've had so many matches. If somebody knows if that's right or not, please comment. I'll probably just say you're right.
Yeah, they faced off a bazillion times. Wasn't a bad match. I remember Cesaro got buried because he mentioned the feud was overdone or whatever. That's still crazy. He got punished for saying that. We'll see how it goes. Big 2025, two all-time greats. Probably the last time they'll ever face off, unless this is Cena's last match. I know James was mentioning he wants this to be Cena's officially last match against Orton. Nobody else makes more sense. I said Orton or Punk, but this could be the last time. Who knows? It's in Randy Orton's hometown, St. Louis, so hopefully they give the fans at least a show. We'll have to see. So, Tears, any final thoughts before we wrap up this video?
Comment down below because I was thinking about this because this is an interesting one. If you can choose, actually no, I'll say that for another video. This one's an actual personal one for everybody watching. Name somebody that you know they're a terrible wrestler, but for some reason you still like them. Like somebody that were like their wrestling style is kind of bland, doesn't really pop as much, but for some reason you still just like him. Like you can't boo them. Example, because I watched a recent video about him, Ezekiel Jackson.
Hey, Ezekiel Jackson was tough back in the day. Wasn't the best wrestler, but he definitely was interesting. Yeah, let us know in the comments on that. That'll wrap up this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more LTQ wrestling content. Peace.
There it is.